getting the scares. That's right. We're back at it on a month-long journey throughout the nightmares, inching our way closer and closer to the day in question, Halloween, of course. But until then, I have more foreign horror films to talk about because, remember, this month is all about foreign horror films that I've never seen before in chronological order. And even though there's not a ton of standalone horror films this month, there are a few, and today's review is on one of those for a little film that recently received an Americanized remake just last year. Also something that I have not seen. This is Goodnight, Mommy. Goodnight, Mommy is a 2014 German psychological horror film about a pair of twins that begin to suspect something is wrong with their mom when she returns home from the hospital with bandages covering her entire face. They begin to suspect that this woman is an imposter with a sinister plan in store for the both of them. One of the worst experiences that you can have watching any given film, and I guess the drawback of sometimes being somebody that watches as many movies as I do every year sometimes, is that sometimes, just sometimes, the experience can be kind of ruined because of tropes. Goodnight, Mommy is one of these films that suffers from following certain horror stereotypes, and it ends up being predictable because of that. To its advantage, I will say that it does try to pull a few fast ones over on you by doing some sleight of hand stuff to maybe distract you, but I'm not kidding when I say just 2 minutes into the film, I figured out the entire thing. It felt like, I saw the movie before, even though I hadn't. Throughout the entire film, I was thinking maybe that's what they wanted the audience to think, that maybe, it had something else in store up its sleeves, but alas, it's exactly what I figured it was, which significantly altered my ability to be entertained by the film, which is too bad. The film is relatively made well. Good cinematography, great acting by the twins, the look of the mother, all bandaged up, at least to me, instantly iconic and memorable, and a good length of the film. I wondered what happened to her to need to have that kind of bandaging going on. The answer to that isn't so important though, because a part of this film is meant to be elusive and mysterious. And I have to applaud the filmmakers for not just immediately bowing to the audience and explaining everything about what happened in the past. Keeping it up in the air definitely helps the ambiance of the film remain that kind of elusive. Also, even though a part of the film is predictable, the fact that they used twin boys as the protagonists of the film really helped shift the perspective of what would otherwise be something kind of bland. The youth of these kids and their inexperience and imagination helps show the audience the dark side of these things in kids. I mean, imagination's great and all, but if left unchecked, what might that mean? It really helps make this film flip-flop a little bit in a good way between asking who truly is the villain of the story. Is it this bandaged up mother who isn't really acting like herself and is kind of being a little bit creepy? Or is it the kids? And what's more, do they even know it? I mean, is it just a tragic misunderstanding, or is there something sinister at play and potentially supernatural going on? The entire thing kind of goes back and forth between these concepts in order to keep the audience in the palm of their hands, refusing to give in to those questions until the very end. And even then, you might still have questions. Again, I did kind of figure everything out 2 minutes in, but if you did not, you might actually have a better time with the film than I did, because I absolutely believe 110% that this film was put together extremely well, and everybody in front of and behind the camera did a fantastic job. I scored Goodnight, Mommy a B- letter grade, final overall score of 74%. 74 out of 100 possible stars, which is a score shared across the board from the technical unbiased score to the biased score, or just kind of how I personally felt about a movie as a whole when I watched it. That's a score that pretty much shouts decent, especially for what they were going for. The only real reason the score wasn't even higher than that for me was because of the fact that I guessed the ending as early as I did. You might be different though, so let me know in the comments down below if you've seen this film and what you thought about it. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next installment for interpreting the scares. And until then, peace out.